Well, you know what? I'm seeing all sorts of chaos happening in front of my very eyes this morning. This is most unusual, and I can see from Paul's comment, is it hide and seek, that those technical problems are coming through to you as well. So good morning to you. I hope you can hear me. I need your little bit of executive production help out there, folks. Let's start with a few good mornings. Before we bring on our special guest this morning, Fire Dave from firedave.com, talking about financial freedom. I see already somebody is shouting out, "Bon dia, let's make some money." So that's a good start to the day. But I need to make sure you can hear me, first of all. So can I have a few thumbs up or loud and clear, Carl, or something like that? Funnily enough, my guest this morning, Dave, is in Ireland, and Peter Bleach is straight in with a Bon Dia Alegria and a Happy Paddy's Day Eve, all already celebrating. I think they're in Fundao. Bon Dia from New Mexico. We're so proud to have the first Indigenous woman to be head of our Department of the Interior, Deb Harland of New Mexico. There you go, Jeannie. Good news over there. Bon Dia. Let's make some money from Jean Van der Beek over there in France. Joel in the north of Portugal this morning. Matosinhos. Joel is here with us, everybody, the Portuguese. Hank Stalica, hola, bon dia from sunny California. Yay, Jeannie King. So can you hear me? Bon dia. And yes, loud and clear from Mike Campion. A few thumbs. Hear you, Carl. That's fantastic. Don't know what happened with my video. Let's not worry about it. Let's just carry on with a few good mornings, and we'll get straight to our guest, Dave, who is in the Cockerel's Coop. If you're not familiar with this system, it's like the Dragon's Den, but it's the Good Morning Portugal version. And I haven't said, hola, bon dia. Welcome to Good Morning Portugal with me, Carl Munson, Expats Portugal. That's where we'll start the edit if we ever do one. Bon dia alegria from a wet grey UK, from Paul and Louise from the kitchen table. I like to think of their domestic idyll there, listening in from the kitchen table in the East Midlands of the UK. Bon dia from Wiesbaden, Germany, from Jim McDonald. I think the hide and seek's over now, Paul. You got me. You found me. Peggy Littrell, bon dia. Pete Bleach. Only to Pete. What's going on there? Hola, bon dia. Alegria de Leria from the Doc, and Leona, of course, in Leria, just like the last Grammys award. Did it all go a bit pear-shaped with the Grammys? So I'm in good company. Paul Richards, greetings from Harrogate. Grey skies and rain. Spring did not last long up there in Yorkshire. Roll on May and sunshine in those Algarvian secret places. Bon dia from Paul, who was playing hide and seek with me from a lovely spring day here in the Eastern Algarve. Glad to hear it, Paul. Isn't it lovely when that happens? Bon dia, Carl, Prosecco in hand, Portuguese test at 11 a.m. Good luck this morning with that then, Peggy. Are you going for your, is it the A2 exam that you're doing? Bon dia, Alegria de Maastricht from Mike Campion. And thank you, everybody, for all your sound check help there. Really don't know what happened with our wonderful video this morning, but never mind. Lee McGrady, I wish I could send a photo to show off the sunny day. You actually can. PM me or send it through to carl@expatsportugal.com. Jersey, over there in the States. Long Island, bon dia alegria from a cold Long Island this morning. Also in the States, bon dia from the US, where it's now 5 versus 4 a.m. That's an improvement, isn't it, since we set the clocks ahead on Saturday. Good news. And a new name here. Jean-Saclea Gogan, bon dia, that's a familiar name, bon dia da Irlanda, nice one, nicely done in the Portuguese there, and bon dia, wonderful Penny, hope it is as sunny and beautiful where you are in Devon, as Diane usually complains, it is a little windy here. I wonder why that is, Pete, are you talking about the weather? Grrr, sorry, wonderful Peggy, I don't know what's, Penny, Peggy, yes, of course, we do have a Penny and a Peggy, all VIPs here in the Good Morning Portugal community, who we're welcoming now. Dave from firedave.com. Sorry about the intro there, Dave. How are you this morning?
I'm good, Cole. Very well, thank you. How are you? Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, and loud and clear. I was a little worried at first, obviously, there when that wasn't rolling. But we moved on and we welcome you to the Cockerel's Coop, which is our version of the Dragon's Den Consumer Tuesday on the Good Morning Portugal show, where we like to talk to people about their business. And I don't know how now. Sometimes I just get involved in talking to our guest and finding out what they do and forget where they arose from. I mean, you've some connection with Portugal, right? I hope.
Yeah, no, 100%, Cole. And initially, before I jumped on, I had to remind myself that Portugal time zone and Ireland are bang on mine. So okay. I wasn't an hour early or an hour late. But no, my wife is actually from Brazil, so she's native Portuguese. And I caught you live once or twice in the morning, and I logged in, and I was really interested in what you're doing, and I think we started chatting online, and that's how it began.
Perfect. Thank you for that reminder. And obviously, the two words financial freedom are very appealing to people at the best of times, and I think especially so at the moment, right, with an uncertain future. It sounds like it might be a good idea to taking your financial future in your own hands and not be so reliant, perhaps, on a corporation or the government. Tell us more about your angle on that. What do you mean by financial freedom? And then let's go into what it is you actually do.
Yeah, no, thanks, Cole. And first of all, in my bit of Portuguese, it would be, obrigado, Cole, for that. And bom dia. And bom dia, sorry. Como vocês estão, for everyone who's joining, if you have any Portuguese people on as well. So
excellent. Muito bem. Muito bem.
Muito bom, yeah. Obrigado. So look, I'm joining from Ireland. Obviously, just a bit of background before I go in. And one thing that you touched on there, and actually, I think you shared on the Facebook site saying that Dave, you'll be on, and he dared to speak about financial independence and finances in the global pandemic. And that was my final thought before I went to bed last night. And actually, it was my first thought when I woke up again. So on that note, one of the things on the website, firedave.com, that I mentioned, and for anyone out there who's never heard of FIRE, Financial Independence, Retire Early, it's one of the things I actually mentioned is that the data shows us online that this is pre-pandemic now, right? So linking into what you said, as many as 900 million people, worldwide are basically unsatisfied, the data shows, and unfulfilled in their work and their lives, in what they do. And 80% of people pre-pandemic were living paycheck to paycheck, basically. So let's say you get paid weekly, the money comes in, by the next week it's gone, or thereabouts, or people are reliant on credit cards and stuff. And when I dug into this further, it showed that, up to 70% of people, in the event of an emergency, not even a pandemic, just a general emergency, like the cars broke down, or even go further, there's whatever, they would basically have to turn to a small loan, or even turn to credit cards and stuff to get out the hole, basically. And that really probably just sums it up. So with the pandemic at the moment that's hit worldwide, I dare to ask everyone the question: can you dare not to talk about finance with everything that's going on? I'll flip it back on you.
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and one that's at the forefront of people's minds. It has been a test, hasn't it? Absolutely, and people will know from their own experience, whether they've managed to meet that test or not. A lot of people are waiting for government paychecks still, and it's been a tricky one, not least when the government say to you, okay, yeah, we'll pay you based on your last 3 set of accounts for the last 3 years. Now, if people, for whatever reason, haven't been in that situation and they're waiting for that help up, that handout, whatever you might want to call it, they might find themselves hungry, and that's actually is what's happening, isn't it? Let's not mince our words. And you make a very good good point.
Yeah.
You know, pre-pandemic, it wasn't a pretty picture. And that is, I mean, it's utterly grim what you're talking about, that so many people have so little job satisfaction and so many people are able, you know, to help themselves. I mean, maybe this isn't for our conversation now, but it is interesting to note that that's the pretty past we're in, as it were. You know, how did it get to that? And why did we get so, complacent or distracted? What went on to create those conditions?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Colin. I'll take that question, and I might even do a brief presentation before as well. But I think there's a lot of points that you touched on there. There's something I heard recently from someone, and it's not a pretty picture either. And the saying is, when the tide goes out, and the tide really went out, and it went right out in the last year, you can see who was skinny dipping. I mean, it exposes everything. And people who maybe weren't satisfied in their jobs at the time, people would just take a job now and go through that and happiness, just have that money coming in and stuff. So your next question was kind of, how do we get here globally, right? So whatever the situation is in Portugal, I'm based in Ireland. I'm originally from the UK, and that's one of the reasons I reached out to you. I think you've got a UK audience as well. It's Expats Portugal, and it affects Portuguese people and European people. On my website, now that you've mentioned it, firedave.com, I reference a couple of books that I've personally read. This is pre-pandemic. One of them is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Yeah. And he talks about the lack of education around finances. It's not a topic in the UK or Ireland that you study. I mean, you study math, probably the closest. You study, whatever you study, science stuff, but you don't study financial education. It's very easy to get into debt, and student debts and things are promoted. But you don't get, and I think Portugal and Ireland as well, that there's no financial education. You're not taught how to manage finances, build wealth. It's just not educated. So I think that's the first thing. And Robert Kiyosaki specifically talks about this in his book, and having that kind of rich dad, poor dad mindset. So look, before we kick off, if anyone's interested, just head over to, I think it's on the Listen to Me resource section, and there's other books there that I actually personally recommend. Good point to get into it and look at pre-pandemic, how we kind of got here. Just some background.
Yeah, he's an amazing writer, and it's a real eye opener, and it's so true. That's a glaring omission in the education of children, isn't it? It's financial education. I mean, basically, you're taught how to be a cog in the machine primarily, aren't you? And that needn't be meant judgmentally or morally, but it's true that people are the education we have in our current system is to fit you into the system, not necessarily to focus on your unique gifts and your self-expression and that sort of thing. You've got to take care of that yourself, and presumably that's what you're about.
Well, that's what I try to do, and I think you've hit on something again, that essentially, look, majority of people have a job or would like to have a job, and you're essentially exchanging your time for money. So you're saying, well, I'm going to work 40 hours or 50 hours. And we know that even pre-pandemic, a lot of people didn't particularly enjoy what they were doing. But really, the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early, originated in the States. And it was popular, I suppose, around the 2010s with millennials. And it's a lifestyle movement. So it's not specifically focused on finance. It's a case of, I think a group of people sat around and said, how do we basically solve the money problem, so we can get on, and as you said, get onto our purpose and what we want and our creative mind, and create a lifestyle that we're really interested in. Yeah. And that's really where the FIRE movement was born. So FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And I suppose the retire early part is optional, because a lot of people just want to work and be creative and play, but they're maybe not doing, as you said, what they really truly want to do. But solving the money problem, or attempting to solve the money problem, can create that space and buffer where people can say, okay, well, now I get on to my life's purpose and what I value, it sits well with me.
Yeah, perfect. So specifically then, I think people have already been taking a look at firedave.com. They like the cut of your jib this morning. A lot of love for Rich Dad, Poor Dad. What's your specific approach to this then, Dave?
Can I share my screen? Or
please do, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let me share my screen, because I've got a few presentations for when I do speak, so I've just put together some very basic slides for today. Let me just see if I can share.
Showing others the way here. So this is, just to remind everybody while you're getting set up there, this is the Cockerel's Coop, which is our version of the Dragon's Den, where people come on and pitch a business idea. You're very welcome to do so. Arwen will be joining us, remember, from Aromaticos in central Portugal. She started a business here in Portugal. She will be talking to us next Tuesday about her trials and tribulations. So that's going up on the screen now there, Dave. So
can this you see is the presentation?
Yep, it's all there, loud and clear, as it were, metaphorically.
Okay, so look, I'll give a brief presentation, because it's 9 o'clock in the morning here and everyone's diving into their coffees and cups of tea. So I've kept this super basic and easy today, right?
Thank you.
Okay. So look, just for people who haven't maybe heard about financial independence or the concept or who I am, financial independence retire early by Dave. My website is firedave.com. And as I said, through all my own personal experiences in life and my backstory, my overall goal here is really to inspire others through my own inspiration. I'm not an expert by any means, and I'll come on to that in a minute. So quick disclaimer, look, I'm not a financial advisor. There's plenty of financial advisors out there. I'm not going to tell anyone what to do, how to invest, or any of those things. At the end of the day, you know, I'm just someone who mentors and life coaches people as part of the business.
Yeah.
So about me, as I said, got into this really, and Friday was really born out of looking at financial stress, which we spoke about already, solving the math problem. But specifically, my take on this is the mindset, psychological aspect of this. And as I said, there's no financial education really out there, but we probably need a catalyst. The pandemic is a good one. And then we need a consistent approach over time. If we want to be less reactive to bills coming in, we want to be more proactive, looking for value, for money, and then building into creating assets that maybe produce us a passive income. So the 4 pillars of life I'll touch on briefly, but that's all linked into mindset. There's a quote here from Henry Ford: whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're basically right. I think that's key. So just very quickly, go on, yeah?
That floating bar there where it says stop sharing, that can be moved out of the way if you want to just drop it out of the screen a little bit.
Yeah, can I move that up?
Drag and drop.
You can see that? Yeah, so
and drag it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so you got that?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so whether you think you can or you think you cannot, you're basically right. And I think that's something I talk about, because if people are interested in the FIRE movement and they just want to get onto the number side and invest in the stock market, invest in property, I think the UK, you've got a lot of investment funds and things over there. You know, that's fine. But a lot of people don't know where to start. And maybe have been, as you said, caught up in consumerism. You know, maybe as I was, you're starting negative, you know, maybe 30, 40, 50, 100,000 in debt, and you need to get to zero to even start. So I think mindset is key here, and actually having a shift in thinking. So I really focus a lot on that, and that links into the 4 pillars of life. So I'll just skip on. This is very brief before we go into it. So what is FIRE? So financial independence, retire early. I really break it down into 2 sections. You have the financial independence side, which is basically, as I said, you have your basic expenses met, and then there's different levels you can go to. And it's basically creating kind of a freedom where work is essentially optional. And then for some people, they may want to take the optional early retirement if they want to. On the website there, Cole, I actually stuck up a free budgeting tool, as you said, for people who maybe want to get started. I'll move that sharing option out of the way. And actually calculate the savings rate. So really with the FIRE movement, where it's probably different, people haven't heard of it. I think classically, financial advisors probably talk about maybe save 10% of your income, potentially max out your pension contributions. The FIRE movement is quite an aggressive approach to breaking the social norm. We'll often talk about 50 to 70% of your take-home pay, probably on average 50%, and then taking that money and investing it, and then basically reverse engineering the life you want through lifestyle design. It's probably the best way to sum it up.
That's beautiful. That sounds great. Yeah.
So really moving on then, it's only a couple of slides here. So look, what got me inspired into this is, aside from money, I think there's 3 currencies that we really have. We have our time, which is our 24 credits that we have to use per day, a credit being an hour card. You can't bank it or move it forward, but you can be intentional how you use it. We have our time, which a lot of us have a lot of at the moment, but that's finite as well. So our energy levels are great now because we're drinking coffee, we're on a call, we're about to have a laugh, but by 4 or 5 o'clock, we're having a slump and we're knackered. So it's like really utilizing that time, that currency, and then seeing how money can work with that as well. So that's kind of an inspiration for me. So yeah, for me, property is my vehicle of choice. I'm going to give a shout out, a mention, because I think you're in Lisbon, Carl, is it? Before I continue.
I used to be in Lisbon. Yeah, I've lived there, but I'm a bit further up north now in central Portugal.
Agaman. So yeah, so there is a couple that I follow, RX Journey, based in Lisbon. Have you heard of them? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, YouTube sensations. Yeah.
Yeah, so we watched them on a Sunday evening. I think their last video was we watched the weekend was about the importance of encouraging our children to educate them about finances and that. So they're really coming, I suppose, from a US perspective, and there's kind of a 4% rule invest in the stock market. So really, the reason I got in touch today is it's probably not as advantageous for me anyway in Ireland and Europe to do that. So property is really my investment choice if anyone's interested in Ireland. So I predominantly invest through property, and also as I was saying to you, my honeymoon was actually in Portugal, believe it or not. So asked my wife to remind me the name of the place on the hotel, because I said she speaks Portuguese. It was actually Cottera, Portugal, where we, is that right, Paul?
In the Algarve, yeah.
Yeah, and I think the hotel she said that we stayed was the Hotel Quinta Jacinta. Was a nice hotel. So yeah, that's kind of our interest in Portugal, and I'm really coming from a UK/European perspective. So, you know, on the website then, Carl, I interview a lot of people. I believe here that attitude equals success, which is a key component in this, right? So we'll skip on. And really, what do I do? So first of all, I look at the 4 pillars of life, which I believe it's more than just a money issue. I believe that the health is related to this. If you're financially stressed, you're physically not in good shape, you're financially not in good shape, your financial fitness, your happiness and your fulfillment levels and your relationships, they're all intertwined. And if you're actually lacking in any of them, it affects the other pillars. So I'm big into the 4 pillars of life, big into the mindset and psychology, and I kind of encompass that all through the FIRE movement. A couple of books I mentioned there: Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, Your Money or Your Life by Vicky Robin. That's a classic, going right back. I think that was rehashed out. And people might have heard of Tim Ferriss, The 4-Hour Work Week, which really looks at how we spend our time.
Absolutely. Yeah, great book.
I don't want this to be salesy, so I should have actually took that out. But so you asked me what I do. So basically, the website that Friday was kind of born. I look at mini coaching programs. So you might have week 1, you do an hour on finance, week 2, health, week 3, relationship, week 4, fulfillment. So that's something that is very popular. People looking at the 4 pillars and how the finance situation can solve that. Another example here is.
Can we go back? There's no problem being salesy this morning. It's Consumer Tuesday. It's the Cockerel's Coop. So I want to know if this offer is available to our community, because a lot of people are already interested. Can you do? Are you doing an offer there? Do I see?
I am, yeah. I didn't want to make it too salesy today, because so the offer there would be Fire Day 4. So as in the 4 pillars. If you want to basically get involved, and you say, right, I just want to do a mini program. I want to look at the FIRE movement and get involved in the lifestyle. And I'd like to do kind of a holistic approach. Week 1, we look at finance. You get free resources, as I said, budgeting tools. Week 2, we look at the health. So, like, for example, my own backstory. By the way, as I said, this is nothing to do with qualifications or, you know, having different letters after my name. I'm life qualified. So, you know, I suppose my health wasn't good a few years ago. I came down 35, 36 kg, 3 years, and got off a lot of medications and stuff. So for me, it's really important. All this stuff, these compounding things that we do, Carl, over time, we make small decisions financially, make small decisions with our health. We look at our relationships, being around good people. So I get into all that with people. If you come to you come to a mini coaching program, I can either do tailored one specifically, or I do group ones. So yeah, promo code FIREDAY4. You can actually back that into the checkout or whatever on the website, and it works out like it's actually very, very good value. It's €96 if you use the promo code, and that you get 4-week power sessions.
You're not going to be retiring on that. That's a very kind offer. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not the Fire Dave is not my. I'm not financially motivated by the website. It's a passion project, and it's something that I set up outside of what I do. So my main investment vehicles is property. And I work a day job as well with my wife. But you know, anyone who actually pays to come onto the course and physically, you know, pays €96 to come on, well, that, you know, it gets rid of the time wasters and people physically want to be there. Just put free courses, people coming in, they're dropping off, and look, but by actually putting a small value on it, people, you know, 1, they're going to turn up, and 2, they physically have to make the payment, so that it kind of gets people actually interested to be there. And I don't want people to register on the website and just sign up to the newsletter unless you're genuinely interested in this stuff. I want actual, real, organic people who want to be involved in this. So only really join the course or sign up to the newsletter if you genuinely have an interest in this. I want, that kind of community that I'm building.
Well said. Well said. That's a very kind offer. Thank you. Appreciate it. And
No,
obviously part of your giving back as well, isn't it? By the sound of it.
Yeah. So there's 3 things you can do with money, Cole, from what I can see. One, you can basically you can spend money. 2, you can kind of, and there's studies out there, and I go into this, that show that there's an income threshold where happiness can be achieved, and then it's pretty negligible after a while.
Yes.
How much you earn, there's kind of this, it goes up, and then it kind of just basically just really negligible. But yeah, the other thing you can do is save and invest it, which is important to achieve passive income. But the third one, which is really the one that I'm interested in and I like, is giving back. And that's the other thing. And there is something nice about giving. And allocating a portion of your money and your time to actually help. So yeah, that's probably one of the 3 things you can do with money, time.
Tremendous. Excellent.
So yeah, so in the terms of what the, I suppose, monetizing or the website offers, I started to put together a list of resources that would help people on their journey. So cryptocurrency might be one. People might be sat at home saying, well, what can I do in the pandemic? I don't know, there's an online survey such as Respondent. They pay you to 150, 200 euros to do a 60-minute survey if you get accepted. So I'll put links to all these different things. People in the UK might say, right, I'm transferring money to Portugal. I think I partnered with a site recently, Azimo. They're bigger in the UK than Ireland. We're currency fair, transfer-wise. Want to change sterling to euro, or cashback offers. I want to, I'm buying stuff online. My wife is buying on Amazon. But how do I get cash back? How do I get more value? So putting links up to that. Money saving tips. So, if anyone actually wants to help support Dave, and one of the ways you can actually do that is to go onto the Extra Beer Money page. Just something I actually put up for a laugh, but it's actually quite grown organically. And I'm actually starting breaking out some of them and doing creating articles about them and more detailed reviews and stuff. So there's one there, like as an example here, Zemo in the UK. They partnered with me recently. They gave another offer there, which is available for you guys, Fire Dave 10. So if you test it out, you send £100 or €100, it costs you 90, and you get the tenner free and the free transfer, and just these things that expats might need to get to Portugal when they're using UK income, or whatever it is. Just an example, but I started to kind of put those offers up and stuff online, Carl, as well.
Great. I think you had a lot of people at Beer Money, basically.
Yeah, Beer Money is good because if you're in a pandemic and you're sat at home and you want to build stuff out, and the beer's pretty cheap in Portugal as well, isn't it? So you get a lot of beer money. If you go on and earn €300 on the website and do all the offers, that'll probably last you a year, would it?
Well, for some of the people here, it's a month's budget, but yeah, I get your point.
Yeah, no, but I mean per beer. Like, how much is a beer in Portugal?
It's true. It's true. Beer's cheaper than water here.
How much is a beer, roughly?
You can get a little Sagres Mini for, I think, 60 cents, something like that. It's very affordable. It's a slippery slope.
Yeah, so let's say you're going on there and you did some offers. Like you could register, like Revolut is good, a good account to have.
Yes.
So you go on, N26 is on there, Currency Fair. I've got a lot of the main providers linked around finance. So you go on and say €200-300. Now it's like nearly a year's worth of beer. So happy days.
You're talking all that sort of language. Thank you. Yes.
That's giving back as well, I suppose, isn't it? So, and it supports the site as well. You get something, and so I get a small commission on some of them as well.
And we do see that as an investment in the local community, especially if it's a craft beer.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So look, just to finish, Cole. Firedave.com is the website. I'm on Facebook /FireDaveG. And look, if anyone's interested, you can inquire on the website, drop me an email, or just fire over as many hard questions as you want. Dave@firedave.com. That's it. Cool.
Fantastic. That's great. A very good presentation in the Cockerel's Coop, our version of the Dragon's Den this morning, and lots of comments coming in. I know you're a busy man, you've got to go. But if you could stick around just a little bit longer.
I can stick around till 10, maybe a bit after, but so I'll take questions now, yeah.
Fabulous. All right, so Lucas is here. Bon dia to you, Lucas. Ludwig Dingledine. We love that name. Good morning to you, Ludwig. Andy the Doc. I'm lucky that my income is now as strong in the NHS pension scheme, so reasonable and secure income with time to enjoy it. Lucky man, and to supplement it. But I agree with the philosophy on your website, says the Doc.
Obrigado, Andy.
Yeah, Rich Dad, Poor Dad is in my top 3 books, says Louise. He'll be with us in the morning. She's joining us, one of our fabulous community members, to talk about her recent journey between the UK and Portugal. So yeah, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, getting a lot of love, as I said. Avoid and guard against consumer debt, said the doc. The shackles placed on normal working people. And you were right on that, weren't you, Dave, a little bit earlier on? It is a terrible thing. Get out of debt is one of your key messages, right?
Yeah, I mean, get out of debt. I mean, if you can get a beer for 60 cents and you get a value out of it, then have a beer. But watch the 3 coffees a day as you're walking around, and watch the subscription. Start basic. Like if you've got, I don't know, what do you have with Netflix, and you've got Sky, whatever it is, you've got over there, and you've got all these subscriptions, you don't actually use them. Say you're subscribed to Sky, I don't know if you can get that, or Vodafone, or whatever it is, you've got 1,000 channels. It's like you can actually watch one at one time. And if you actually stop and look at it, it's like, well, it's just basically things, but it's basically not depriving yourself. It's actually looking at what you value. So if you actually value buying 3 coffees a day, you sit down, I know, on the coast of Algarve and you actually enjoy it, buy your 3 coffees a day. But if you're actually buying stuff, let's say on Amazon or somewhere, and you're actually not using it, you're just clogging up room in your house and clogging up room in your brain and all that, then there's no value. It's like, well, it's just, yeah, I actually spend lavishly on stuff that I get value on. So I would travel to Portugal, travel to Spain, travel to Brazil, and yeah, I don't hold back. A friend of mine would joke, we go all out, but you know, genuinely things that we don't value. It might be that you don't value designer clothes, right? You know, or whatever it is you don't value. Like, well, clothes are clothes to me. It's like, well, yeah, just spend on things you actually enjoy. If you really enjoy traveling to Alicante from Portugal and stuff like that, and having experiences, then yeah, go all in, and then cut back on the things you don't.
Great advice. That really, yeah. So rather than making it a stick with which to beat yourself, we can turn it into a kind of carrot, can't you? Some people live above their income and never save for an emergency, and then expect bailouts, says Paul. It's true. That's part of human nature, I guess. Richest Man in Babylon is a great book for kids to be educated on finance. You familiar with that one, Dave?
I am. I got it recently on Amazon. There's a 30-day free trial. It sounds salesy. I've got that on my website actually, but I put it on it's on audiobook through Amazon. Yeah. So yeah, you can actually. That's another thing I've got. If anyone wants to read these books, there's a link on my site. You get 2 free audiobooks with Amazon Prime, and 30-day. It doesn't cost you anything. And yeah, go and get 2 of these. Get Richest Man in Babylon, and most people are agreeing with Rich Dad Poor Dad. Go get the 2 books, put them on audiobook. Go for your walk around, put them in your ears on podcasts or whatever audiobook, and just enjoy them. And if you don't, that's fine. You lost nothing.
Change your life, maybe. So, yeah, Jacqueline Mary Brown, Donna Jacqueline's here. Good morning. A man after my own heart, you are, Dave. And this is really, work is honourable, toil is a curse. Very good, wise words, as we've come to expect from Jacqueline there. So yes, I mean, I can see that in you, Dave. You know, you're a hardworking person, but you make it count, and you want the leverage on your time spent and your hours invested, rather than just working with your head down and getting lost in it all.
Well, yeah, and my own take on it. A lot of people say work smart, right? And I believe that, right? Or keep it simple, stupid. You've heard that one before, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you kiss in Portugal, by the way, when you meet?
Well, we would normally do that, and it's been a really hard habit for Portuguese
because of the coronavirus.
Yeah, the hugging and the kissing is really an important part of Portuguese culture for sure. Yeah,
I was going to ask that. But on a serious note, KISS stands for keep it simple, stupid, right? Which is just made me think that. But on a serious note, work smart. So it comes back down. Remember, I talked about the 24 currencies, and which is the 24 credits you have per day. You have 24 credits a day, which is 24 hours. So if you stop and actually budget them, a lot of people realize that they're wasting hours on things. So it's getting value all the time and saying, right, well, my whole thing is work smart as you can, but work hard when you need to, because there's times you actually need to go and grind and work hard. And actually, on the path, you do need to work hard. But it's not just a case of setting up all these, passive income accounts and the money will fly in. You've got to work too. You've got to get up, know what your purpose is, know what you value, know what your high level thing is, right? I value my independence, value my relationships. So, not these tangible things like Carl says, right? Or Jack says, I want to buy a BMW. It's like, fine, but that will drop in value quicker than a brick. What's the actual goal, high level? Or like, then it's getting on and then just grind when you need to grind. But yeah, and then when you can, pull back and work smart. That's my own take on it.
Totally get it. Fantastic. John van der Beek in France is saying, yeah, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Read it. It's an order from France this morning.
Bonjour to France.
Yes, well said. Bon dia from Albufeira. To Anna. And Louise is saying again, Pete Bleach, good book suggestion. That's another great one, The Richest Man in Babylon. And these are good for ones that are accessible for kids, I think are really important. And I want to ask you about that as well. You know, whether you're going to tailor some of this to financial education for kids. Let's come back to that.
Carl, can I jump in for a sec there? And ask
of course you can. Of course you can, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the audience here are referencing books, specifically around these topics. So if people have book recommendations, email them on to me, and I'll read and review them. And if people have book reviews and want to discuss them, email it on to me. And I'm just going to mention a point here. One thing I do is I interview people, and it's something that's taken on really well. So I don't know, someone might say, right, I'm investing in the stock market and I'm a single person, or I'm employed, or I've got a limited company, or whatever it is. And I ask 3 simple questions to anyone who's interested. So if you go to the interview section on my website, it's really interesting. And it basically shows that, you know, people might say, well, why would I want to be financially independent? Well, why would you not? Because, you know, basically, why would you not want to be? Well, I love my job. It's like, well, yeah, that's fine until 2 years' time when someone comes in and you don't like your job anymore. So get onto the interview section, have a read. It's no cost. It's just interviewing people who are already financially independent or fired, retired early, on the path. And the question I have to people, because a lot of people are referencing books and stuff, if you want an interview on my website and to tell your story, go through the 3 questions, get in touch with me. I'll take people from UK, France, anywhere. No problem at all.
Superb. That sounds good. So anyone from our Good Morning Portugal community, Expats Portugal community, if you want to be
now their problema.
Okay, that's fantastic. From California this morning. Morning, everyone. That's Don in Northern Colorado. Another book recommendation, The Slight Edge, is a great book as well. I'm not familiar with that one. And as you might expect, our friends Wealth Academy, where are they? Creation Academy are here this morning saying, love today's subject. Thought you might say that, Wealth Creation Academy.
Oh, I do as well. Yeah, appreciate that. Good man.
Good morning, everyone from Gemini. We have from John again, and John van der Beek in France. Saifeddin Amos, the Bitcoin Standard. Read it. We'll come back to cryptocurrency, the talk of the town at the moment. Andrew Henderson, the Nomad Capitalist. Read that.
Can I jump in there on the Nomad Capitalist for a second? I actually follow Andrew on YouTube, the Nomad Capitalist. And for anyone who doesn't follow him, he's basically renounced his citizenship in America, in the States, which is, wow, why would you do that, you know? And he basically, a nomad is nomadic, meaning he has no fixed abode. He travels, although he has multiple properties. He's got multiple citizenships. He's got multiple visas, multiple residences. And he really turns on head the conventional idea of basically having bricks and mortar in one location, one passport, one residency, and then saying, okay, I'll do whatever you want me to do in this country. Watch him if you're interested. I'm just fascinated by the Nomad Capitalist.
Yeah, and what an interesting sort of role model for young people as well. Because if we think about the role models of young people in the last 10 or 20 years, a lot of people have wanted to be the sort of pop idol, Britain's Got Talent sort of person, waiting to be discovered and sifted through, you know, a needle in a haystack process, only to have a nervous breakdown after they've managed success, you know, being a celebrity or an Instagram celebrity with no necessarily intrinsic value. And no disrespect to any of these people, I understand how all that happens, but to aspire to somebody who can move freely around the world by their own independent means, and even better, someone who's got a quite a big pot of money and is giving back and doing their own bit to support others is a pretty cool role model to have. And maybe that 100%. Might be a change. We'll see. Anita, I call you Anita. It's Anna Rita, not Anita. Anna, I know that, of course. Anna Vieira is in sunny Cascais. Bon dia to you. Paul Richards, I think this is a comment on our system. How to make $1 million start with 2 million. That's live. Some would say that's how Donald Trump made it. He was born into wealth, not the case for all of us. But I think, you know, what Dave is saying here, it doesn't matter what your circumstances are. It's more to do with your attitude. Obviously, good circumstances help, though, right, Dave? If you are born with a silver spoon in your mouth, it might be a little bit of a leg up and a good start. Or is it?
I'll answer that, right? This
Yeah, go on.
is a good one. I think it's 86, but you can Google this. 86% of millionaires are self-made, right? So we'll break that down, right? So self-made means they didn't inherit the money. They weren't born into wealth. They either came from, basic either poverty, or they came from a standard, regular life. So 86% of millionaires were self-made. So that means that they basically did something to create that wealth. It didn't come from generation. So there is 14% of people that became millionaires. So that 14% inherited, were given. Some people win the lottery, or the common one is a celebrity. You look at, I don't say anything wrong about him because it's Mike Tyson. So great thumbs up to Mike Tyson. But look at the classic story online. You showcase something, or you're a celebrity, or you win the lottery. How many stories you hear about people winning the lottery, a couple of million, it's gone within 2 years.
Yes.
And the reason this is, if you're in that 14%, you might be able to hold on to the wealth. But if you haven't built that mindset and that wealth abundance and that ability to retain and learn about finances, very hard to hold on to the money. So, the stats show that, you can be born in with a silver spoon in your mouth. But if you're not actually shown how to hold that, and you don't have the abundance mindset, you hear about how many people win the lottery, it's gone within 2 years.
Yes, and it was there's a notable pools winner from way back in the day called Vivian Nicholson, and a movie was made of her life called Spend, Spend, Spend. And I think within a few years she was broke. And one of my favourite quotes about that is like, if you win £1 million, you better become a millionaire quick. And that's referring to how you manage the money, isn't it? Because is easy. It's easy to hemorrhage the cash if you haven't got a system or an understanding. What was the name of your YouTube channel? Ask Sevilla.
My YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Well, I don't actually have one at the moment. I have set one up, but I'm not actively using it.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, at the moment, if you want to listen to me as opposed to read stuff, I interviewed on New Year's Day 2021. I think it was Financial Sanity and Financial Stress 2021 and the Financial Independence Europe podcast. I was on the Irish Fire podcast last year. Talking about similar stuff, mindset and finances. I actually hosted an event, Cole, forgot to tell you this. I hosted an event about a week ago, firehq.ie. It's another website that I have just for events. It's like, I had a couple from the UK, from To Go Rome, that basically retired. They hit financial independence in October, and they fired, as they say, and they're going full-time traveling. They came on as guest speakers. We had people from Scotland, UK. Yeah, you can still get a ticket for that. That's a paid event. It's €25, but it's just like 5 hours worth of content on there, and it's like bonus Q&A. So if you want to listen to me and you actually want to hear other people, not just me, because the only reason I come onto these, Carl, is the wife is sick of listening to me. So to talk to people who want to hear me now.
Yes, locked down with you.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about financial independence? Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Bless her.
Like, all right, I'll just go and tell Carl and the other guys about it instead.
We're giving her a break. What's her name?
Coop.
What's her name?
Claire. Jansa Claire is Claire. Claire, CLEIA would be the
Claire, good morning to you. God bless you. We're giving you a break this morning. But that does sound amazing. Sevilla, on a serious note, watch this space for a YouTube channel, but loads of resources. Go to firedave.com by the sound of it for the best start on all of those.
If people want to collaborate, Carl, as well, right? And you've got a suggestion for me. I'm a yes man in a different sense here. I'm a yes man as in that I'm yes before I say no. So I'll take anything on.
Yeah.
Until there's a reason not to listen to anything. And if people want to collaborate or have opportunities or even property opportunities in Portugal, whatever it is, email me, give me a shout, and I'm open-minded.
I will be. Don't worry. Good morning from Canada. Planning to move to Portugal, hopefully in the next year or two. I have so many questions. I think we might have to get Dave back. Maybe Claire will be glad of that. Links to some of the resources.
That's when she wants to get rid of me. And then we can work around it.
Firedave.com. I'll make sure that's on the screen before we go. The Algarve is rocking this morning, says Peggy. Sun, slight breeze, warm temperatures, fresh strawberries and cream with my prosecco. That's independence, isn't it? Did you use the expression like people get to a certain point and then they hit fire or they're on fire? There's a real sort of milestone, is there, for people that you celebrate as a community?
Yeah. So like Peggy there is talking about sun, slight breeze, like making me very jealous actually, because I'm going to put a jump on in a minute. I'm actually freezing in the house. I'm actually going to put this on in a minute. I think we're expecting 14 degrees today, but it doesn't look it outside. But really, Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. The financial side is so boring actually, because once you've actually done your budget and your plan, you just tweak it. But the fun part is the pillars. So I mean, it's like what you're investing in, it's the health, it's all that stuff. So another reason that we kind of got involved with you, Carl, as well, is Portugal is close to my own heart. I mean, I wrote down a few things here that we always said if there was somewhere we were going to move to over the island, probably be Portugal or Spain. One of the reasons is you look at the quality of life, look at the lifestyle, all those things, and when people fire and they hit their fire number, you kind of celebrate it. So you've kind of fired.
That's the formula whereby you have enough coming in to service the kind of lifestyle you ideally want. That's that point, is it?
Yeah. Just very briefly to define it. So what it is, you create enough assets. Whether you might say, well, I need I don't know, 500,000, or I need 1 million or 2 million to fire. Right. This is typically, let's say, the stock market, and then the formula that's typically used in fire is, and it's based on a Trinity study over in the US that said, okay, what amount of money would you need to build up as, like, I suppose, a nest egg, and then you could passively draw off that at least 30 years or possibly even indefinitely, let's say, morbidly before you die, right? So what they said, it set this 4% rule. They said, right, let's say you needed, just pick an arbitrary number, 1 million. You need 1 million to fire, okay? And then, if you took 4% of that per year, it'd be 40,000. I'm giving it a high or low number, whatever, it's an arbitrary number. And that's typically it. And then I say, well, how do you know I need 1 million, or how do I need 500,000? How do I need 40,000 a year? We just look at your current lifestyle and say, well, my current lifestyle requires 20,000, or my current lifestyle requires 40,000. And then you work backwards from that, or through property, you say, well, how many properties do I need to produce this amount of income? And people are basically fired. If you want to go really deep, there's different levels of fire. So fire is your 5-star hotel, you've got frequent travel, you're eating lobster every day, and you're drinking a sangria whatever it is, right? Comfortable fire is kind of, you've got your basic expenses, you've got your basic expenses met, and then you've got a bit of travel, and you can upgrade the car every few years. And lean fire, which is still attractive to a lot of people, is actually just having your basic expenses covered. You can go and buy your food and stuff, but you've actually bought your time back. And a blend of lean fire to comfort fire appeals to so many people, because it's actually you really pick where you want to be. And some people will go lean fire, get their basic expenses met, know that they don't need to require on this unhappy job or situation they're in, or they get. And by the way, this isn't just financially motivated. Some people you have a sickness, you get a car accident, and all of a sudden it's like, excuse my language, shit, basically, what do I do? So there's a lot of motivation to fit in financial independence, and then just pick what fire category suits you.
Superb. Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, lean fire, the digital nomad lifestyle. It all sounds great, and thank you for being here this morning, chatting about it. Jacqueline, Denise says, how can I sign up for the mini coaching program? I have put up the website, firedave.com. All roads lead there this morning. Jacqueline has a website teaching about wealth and to entertain people and their passion. Fantastic, Donna Jacqueline. She's one of the elders of our community, and that's exactly how an elder, I think, should be relating to everybody, to teach them these things. I'd be interested in having a chat with Dave about a possible collaboration on an idea I have, which may add well to what he's doing. Go for it, Fiona. You know the details now. Firedave.com. Look, there's already sign-ups, Dave. Firedave 4 coupon does not work for me. I think you'll have to talk to the helpline after the show. Maybe.
There we go. Firedave.
Well, you can.
Yeah,
that can.
Okay. Firedave.com/offers.
Oh, okay. Let me put that then in.
Yeah, if the coupon's not working, that's no problem. Right. So if you want to get in contact for one-to-one coaching, so if you go to the offers section, if you go to the offers section there, you can do. There's a free 15-minute coaching session available to anyone. If you want to just have a basic chat, 1 hour's coaching, and the 4 pillars are available there through that website link there, facebook.com/offers. You can book the 4-hour 4 weeks. If you book that and that offer or that coupon is not working, just message me and say you're on the Coleman's and Cockerel's warning.
Yes, be careful.
And I'll honour that. There's no problem.
Be careful how you structure that sentence with me and my Cockerel. Rizal Furtada. Alegria skating in from Sesimbra this morning, where it is sunny and heavenly. And I know those guys, the Furtados, great friends. They're also, living in this way that we're talking about this morning. Bon dia from Norway as well this morning, from Milda. Good morning to you, Milda. The Fate of Empires. Is that another book recommendation? Sounds like it, from our wonderful friend Charles. Early morning for you, Charles. As we have said before, debt is the biggest controlling factor in most people's lives. Choice and freedom lie beyond this. If you ever get the chance to get there, this will mean sacrifice to lifestyle sometimes. Well said, Gary. One of our kind of borderline elders there, a would-be elder, with some great advice there. Creature from Jekyll Island. I think that's another book recommendation. Morning from Sean Maguire, who I think also is, thinking in much the same way here. And I think a lot of people are. We've kind of flushed them out this morning as people who are sort of may be in the closet about this sort of thing. We've opened the door up and everyone's talking about financial freedom this morning, which can be difficult in some cultures. Can I put the name of my book here? It's about reinventing your life. How very dare you, Carla? Certainly not. Of course you can, Carla. I'm looking forward to talking to you soon on the show. My 4-year-old granddaughter, excuse me, loves to play Peppa Pig Monopoly. It's a great introduction to the financial world. Of course, Milda, the Monopoly was created by the Quakers to illustrate the evils of capitalism, I think, originally. And then look what happened. It outsold all other toys. By the sound of it, working smart for me is doing what I am passionate about and getting paid for. And kids should all learn about the magic penny, says Jacqueline chipping in there. And actually, I don't mean to sound like, capitalism rocks. Capitalism has caused terrible problems in the world. This is about a balanced, holistic view, as Dave was saying there, using the tools that do work from the capitalism toolbox. But yeah, looking after people and being in a community as well is really important. And hopefully we'll achieve that hybrid before long in the world, in society. Invest in your ambition, not your image. Says Gary Moore. Good advice. They're a great bunch, aren't they, Dave?
They are. Think and grow rich. Can I jump in, Carl, as well? You mentioned something here, and it seems to be a running topic, that money is taboo subject to most cultures, right? And you just talked there about people coming out of the closets this morning. Really, the FIRE community is well, it's a safe place, let's say, to talk about this, because you're amongst like-minded people. If you can put it that way, and it should be something that I believe it should be talked about, and to encourage people to find out about this stuff and learn, and that's really what it is. It's a place you can go. It's a FIRE community. You can learn about this stuff, interact with other people, and then it's not such a shameful, taboo thing that we don't talk about, we don't get educated about.
Yeah, well said. Maybe we'll have our own little Expats Portugal FIRE community as well, a little subset for those who are interested, and Dave might drop in from time to time there. He might even collaborate with us. We'll see. So yeah, Think and Grow Rich, a classic. Mike Campion, well said in retaining the wealth gained. Yeah, the Vivian Nicholson story, it's fabulous. It's a great movie as well, even in black and white, I think, but it just shows that nothing's really changed in all those years. The pools changed to the lottery, but the mindset still is the timeless factor. The one he referenced earlier. So YouTube shows, get back to Dave there. I would say make a personal connection to the great subject and guest from Jeannie King. Yeah, I'm so glad you're here, Dave, this morning. Wealth is happiness, and I guess you could reverse that. Happiness is wealth as well. Carla Freeman, ask for forgiveness, not permission in life, Carla. Actually, John, that is one of my approaches, I have to say. The less you want, the more you have, says John Hayfield. Good morning to you, John. All the links are in there. The extra beer money one that I think we were impressed with, as well as the offers, firedave.com/offers. And Rizal, living life on our terms was a goal, and we pressed on until we achieved it. Fantastic, Rizal. And you are living examples, glowing exampbles.
Interview on my blog, even anonymously if you want. I'll ask everyone 3 questions. I want to hear these stories go. And one of the things that I'm amazed about is the people that I meet day to day. This keeps me motivated, genuinely.
Yes. It's been amazing having you here. Will you come back another time?
My wife said yeah.
That's the key decision maker says yes.
Fire Dave is because she's fired me, basically. So I've got to come on to it. That's what it is.
Well, I suppose I was going to say that's another way of looking at it, isn't it? This is the day you can get to where you can fire your boss, isn't it? That moment some people might look forward to, might like that particular dynamic.
Yeah, that's something that's something you could do. I used to work full time. So anything I do outside of this, evenings, weekends, and mornings. Actually, quite like my job. I work in the sales industry, and it's well, I manage a team of salespeople. So it's quite interesting. But that catalyst is a good one for a while. But then you still need to figure out what you're going to do, because like you build up this situation, you fire your boss. You're like, great, fire my boss. In about 1 second, it's over. And then you tell a load of people, and they're like, "Oh, what did he say?" It's like, "Oh, he said, oh, good luck," you know. It's like, okay. And then like you've got your whole life. Like, what are you going to do? So look at the 4 pillars and then figure out, because you need something to do then. Can't sit on the beach forever. That after about a month.
There you go. That's your classic quote that might be said by kids in generations. You can't sit on the beach forever, kids. Even though that's not a bad short-term goal, it's true. The BMW, the beach, the prosecco, even. You do need something probably a bit deeper than that to relate to. A safe place to live, good food, nice wine, and great friends are the basis of a happy life for Gary. Everything else is a bonus, and that's certainly available here in Portugal. Look forward to having one of those good value beers with you, Dave, in person. Over here. Thank you so much for being in the Cockerel's Coop this morning. I think you've been massively popular, and if metaphorically, you're hired.
Like I told you at the start, I have 0 qualification. This is life-based. What do you call beer? Because my wife calls it cerveja. Now cerveja, right. She says, no beer. Yeah,
same here. Cerveja. Yeah, absolutely.
Good. All right. So to health,
and all the best to you. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Take care. Fire Dave. There he goes. We'll have him back again soon, I hope. Ciao, ciao.
Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
As well. Bye for now. There he goes, off to his day job, which he loves and enjoys as well. I've got a film. Let me come back to your question in a moment, Paul, and we'll stick around for a bit longer. But a very interesting promo film for Portugal came across my desk, as it were, yesterday. And I want to share it with you. And some of it will seem a bit odd. And then we'll talk about that afterwards, why that is, why this is a bit odd. But I think it's something worthy of sharing. And I want you to tell me, which bits of this film that I'm about to show you agree with or not. But let's take a couple more comments before we get there and show you this promo film for Portugal. And I'm just going to take that off the screen there. Yeah, okay. So firedave.com. That was great talking to Dave this morning. That's where you can find him, firedave.com. Question from Paul. Why is it that people who have money never talk about it, but the people who don't have money talk about how to make money? Is that the same with sex? I think it's just human nature, isn't it, Paul? Maybe. I mean, there are some people, aren't there? And this is part of the giving back bit. There are some people who will talk about it, I think. And that seems to be more popular, especially because some people make money by talking about how they got wealthy as well, don't they? That's definitely a thing. So, yeah, interesting question, Paul. And Charles is saying 12% interest on cash in the Celsius network. So another tip coming in there. And as Dave said at the beginning, none of this is financial advice. Do your own due diligence, make your own choices, be a grown-up, take responsibility, etc. We're not telling you what to do. We're just talking about things, having a bit of fun, sharing a bit of information. You are the boss in your own life. A key message, I think, here this morning. So don't be blaming other people if it doesn't work out. Do your research, do your due diligence, and only risk what you can afford to risk. I guess is that good? That's good advice in life generally, isn't it? So, but there's I don't know what the Celsius network is, but an interesting thing there that some of you might wish to look into from Charles. Thank you, Charles. So let me play you this movie now. Watch this closely, actually, I was going to say reveal all afterwards. You'll see at the end something that puts it into perspective, but lots of interesting things about Portugal here. Just let's take a breather and check this out.
This in Portugal. Crisis. Taxes. Deficit. Troika. How do you identify this country? A, as a country in crisis. B, as a place to grow. C, as a country for sale. Welcome to Portugal, a country with solid, innovative projects which attract attention and investors from all around the world. We have a lot of examples to prove it. Our prepaid mobile phones, our ATM system, the Via Verde solution, or the contact center software. We are the European leader in the manufacture of monofilaments and in the production of office paper. Michael Phelps beat world records with Portuguese swimsuits. In the production and transformation of cork, and in wind farms and renewable energy, we are world leaders. The quality of the Portuguese hotel industry makes travelers around the world happy. We are the biggest air service provider between Europe and Brazil. Portugal is in the front line in productivity in the automotive sector, and Brazil trusts us with their investments. The trendiest and sexiest toilet paper in the world is Portuguese. Millions of families buy at Made in Portugal shopping centers. We provide solutions for NASA. We compete in the global GPS market, and we are distinguished in interaction technology. We stand out internationally in the production of clothing, footwear, and packaging in hard plastic. Our construction companies have achieved international ground, and we have companies with a lot of speed. Portugal is a doorway to Angola and Mozambique, a market that is growing at 8% with 40 million consumers, where we rely on one of the most dynamic oil companies for the development and production of oil and gas. We have the world's 11th largest maritime area, 4 international airports, one of the world's most modern and developed road networks. Portugal has increased its competitiveness and competence, which allows for a better relationship between qualified manpower and cost. We're in 30th place out of 182 on the world list for the best countries to do business with. Economic relations between Portugal and Spain constitute a strong and growing Iberian market. Together, we're a major pair set out to conquer the world. Many countries already trust us. However, the new emerging market also sees Portugal as a doorway into Europe and the future. Foreign direct investment has increased, and currently exports represent 36% of the Portuguese GDP, which certifies the competitiveness and quality of the products made in Portugal. Portugal is one of the most global and peaceful nations in the world. Portugal is also the best place to work. From research to culture, the examples speak for themselves. Portugal to invest, to work, but also, without a doubt, the best place to live. The World Travel Awards distinguish Portugal as the best European golf and beach destination. And we made waves in the surf world too. Fado was regarded as intangible World Heritage by UNESCO. Portugal is unique because of its famous red wine.
Woohoo!
And great olive oil. And the best codfish in the world. Fantastic coffee. And the delicious pastéis de Belém. 273 million people on all continents speak Portuguese. This is why we believe that Portugal is the place to invest, to work, to live. How do you identify this country? A, as a country in crisis. B, as a place to grow. C, as a country for sale. Portugal, the place to grow.
There you go. We're nearly done. We're nearly done there. And I would like to thank Like Portugal, which has subsequently disappeared from my research yesterday. Okay, so to put you in the picture of what was happening there, that was made in 2013 as a response to the financial crash of and subsequent crash of 2008, and the real spin that Portugal was put in, hence the positioning there. Now I think that's really fascinating, because arguably we're in a similar situation again, aren't we, with the pandemic effect and the knockback to the economy. Much of what was said in that is true. I don't know if Portugal is still making Michael Phelps budgie smugglers. I think we still have the sexiest toilet paper in the world. But there are some perennial things here in there that we hear, as when we do our research about Portugal. For those of you who want to come here, a lot of those things you'll be familiar with. Some of the things you won't be so familiar with, and some incredible innovation technology that Portugal is very modest about, that was revealed there. But the question I have for you is, how are we going to move forward? Is it the same? Would we roughly be releasing the same movie now to invite people to come to Portugal and enjoy what is here? Or is that what the government should be doing? What should be adapted now in there? What's still true? I think a lot of it is still true. And when I watched it at first, I was thinking, well, this is weird. Why are they talking like that? And why are there some of these things a little bit dated? Made in 2013, as I say there. So very interested to hear your views on that. Advice coming in: do your taxes, because that will take you down to Chinatown, won't it? If you don't stay on top of that. Please send me or post a copy of the link to the movie. I was just sent it via WhatsApp. I think it's still doing the rounds because a lot of people think it's current. So if you look it up, actually, no, email me and I'll send you. I'll find a way of getting it to you or anybody, Catherine. Or actually, the best thing for me to do is to put it up in the Expats Portugal forum. That's what I'm going to do. It's going to go in the Expats Portugal forum as the Invest in Portugal movie. The movie has to be adapted to present times. Absolutely right. And our caveats for the show from before: not financial advice. However, nothing ventured, nothing gained, and just for entertainment purposes. John van der Beek. And you remind me there, John, that we didn't talk about Bitcoin after all with Dave. So we should perhaps get Dave back to talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, etc., because that is one possible route. Again, no guarantees, but it is one possible route to the financial independence that Dave's been talking about this morning. That has been our theme. So interesting. Maybe we lost everybody there during that promo movie, but I'm interested to know what you think. And is there a way, do you think, could the national communities of a country, Portugal is perfectly placed for this, I hasten to add, could we have the sort of wisdom, and let's face it, there were some perennial wise observations in Dave's presentation this morning. There are things that are true about human nature. There are things that are true about time and things that are true about money and true about our motivations and our human psychology. Would it be possible to scale those sorts of things up to a national level? Could we possibly have a government or an administration that had that same balance of, what would it be called? Self-reliance, local level, individual and family determination to do well, to support each other in doing well, and scale that up into a national picture. And to coin a phrase, they may say I'm a dreamer, but I don't think I'm the only one. That is possible, I think, on a national scale, and certainly would be an improvement on many of the outcomes we experience, across the, what would we call them, Western civilizations and democracies, Western style, Western mindset, capitalism, the best of the worst systems, as some people call it. Could we not take the best of it and some of the things that we could maybe collectively agree were useful from what Dave was saying this morning, scale them up to the family level, teach the kids, scale that up to the local junta, freguesia level, scale that up to the Câmara level, scale that up to the regional level, scale it up to national level, and have a country operating in that way? I don't think it's out of the question. It's education, it's mindset, as Dave was absolutely saying there today. I see Portugal as the country to grow. Yeah, of that multiple choice, that's got to be the one, right? Certainly a good one to invest in, it would appear. But yeah, as a country to grow, but also to a country to come and grow in. It's important to have that holistic win-win sort of situation, I think. So thank you for that, Fiona. Yes, I don't know if you're dumbfounded by that promo video. Maybe more will come from that in subsequent shows. Tomorrow, let me tell you that we have Louise with us, who is Expat 50 Plus, solo Expat 50 Plus YouTube channel. Love your videos on there. Do subscribe to Louise's channel as well, and definitely subscribe to ours. Got told off yesterday for not telling people enough to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Expats Portugal. So Louise tomorrow talking about her epic journey to and from the UK. She is a Portuguese resident, and she was making her way back and will be sharing the details of her journey and challenges in making that journey, and probably update us on her journey here in Portugal as she's settling in within her first year here. On Thursday, who are we talking to on Thursday? Friday, Jenny's back. Thursday, we're talking to the wonderful Anna from Savvy Cat Realty, who is a like a buyer's advocate, a buyer's agent, and she's an amazing, dynamic person, not unlike Dave, who we had this morning, who has been dealing in real estate since she was a teenager, I think, in the family business. She's got some incredible views and ideas about real estate in Portugal, so she's my guest, or our guest, on Thursday as well. So an interesting week. We're also looking at the changes to the NHR system on Thursday evening on our webinar, on the Portugal Calling webinar. Make sure you're a premium member of expatsportugal.com to get ushered through to the front of the queue for that one, for one of our intimate and informative webinars. And on Thursday evening, of course, it's the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club Man Cave on Friday. I had a great Man Cave session last Friday. We'll do that again on Friday. Maybe we'll be talking about how International Women's Day, the week of International Women's Day, ended so horribly in the UK, and how this issue that we need to get on top of in the world of the treatment of women in our world, in our societies. I think we should talk about that, fellas, in the Man Cave on Friday evening. That will be a subject worthy of discussion, and playing our little part in that. I just finished a video on saving money. If our channel pays its way, one day we'll move to Portugal, says Project Frugal. 0 views so far, lol. Let's see what we can do for Project Frugal. You need a few subscribers, do you? Oh, and come on the show. Tell us about Project Frugal. Sounds interesting. Let's have a look. We have got the comments coming in about the promo video now. Love the film. Is it available to get hold of? Yes, I'll stick it up on the Expats Portugal forum. I'll certainly get that to you, Jacqueline. Would love it. I think we're in the process of changing the mindset of the value of Portugal for the Portuguese as much as ourselves. Interesting comment there, Donna Jacqueline. I'd have given 3 positive points to choose from, and at the end, the final answer is all 3 points. Yes, true, Denise. As well, they didn't mention their successful tourism industry. It's not clear to me who their target audience was. It was a response in 2013 to the financial crisis here, hence its slightly odd positioning and angle. A nation's success can be measured by the contentment of its people, but how do you measure that, Gary? Are there tangible measures of that, or is it just something and I don't think we're there at the moment, aren't we? We can't say that in many countries around the world at the moment, that there is a kind of a surplus of personal contentment among people. We live in strange times, but we have all the technology to deal with it, as far as I'm concerned. That's why I remain hopeful. Yes, it is possible and necessary to promote growth. Be the change, says Catherine Nichols. Always a positive force here in the community. I just finished a video. Oh, okay, so you've done your video on saving money at Project Frugal. We need to give you a bit of support, Project Frugal. Come on the show. Come and have a chat. The reason why our French company relocated its UK Central Shared Services Group to Portugal and then started to move to the rest of the Europe departments to Porto was because of the comments similar to that video. A growing, well-educated and technologically savvy country that could speak English well and was stable and cheap. Let's say good value, shall we? Peter, but great comment. Thank you very much. Carla, Creating Magic in Midlife 101, or a quick, here we go. This is Carla's book, Creating Magic in Midlife, 101 questions and answers to reinvent your work, your relationships and your life, available on Amazon Book and Kindle. You've got to come on and talk. You've seen how easy it is. I think, Carla, maybe what slowed us down with the process of you getting on the show is the pre-call. I'm not good on the pre-calls. I'm very good and very friendly, as are all the rest of this community, in saying, look, when do you want to be on? Next Thursday, next Tuesday, for example, 9 o'clock. Here's the link. Come on and chat. Let's do that. Come on, don't be afraid. Ludwig Dingeldine. Portugal is already doing better than most countries, but there is still room for improvement. Yeah, absolutely. No question about that, Ludwig. And let's work on that together. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Let's be the changes. Catherine was saying. I did what I wrote, which is create magic in midlife. Come on, Carla. Come and talk to me about that. Creating Magic in Midlife 101, 101 questions. There you go. There's the link, or there's the detail anyway in the comments to find that book. Oh, thank you, says Louise. No problem at all. It's Penny's. No, it's Andy. It was Penny's wine. It's Andy's wine. Let's make our mind up here. It's Andy's wine. Andy, the doc, may still be here and might share with you the details of the wine we're tasting on Thursday. And gonna share it with Mrs. Hank. That's the movie, is it? Okay. Yeah, I'll stick it up in Expats Portugal forum by popular demand. One last thing then before I go, as Columbo would say. Just one more thing. Do you remember yesterday talking to the meteorically famous and meteorically popular FD Devane, Frank FD Devane, the Frank about food conversations that we're having as we tour Portugal, talking about the lovely grub here. Frank and I were talking about bacalhau, and we went from 24 to 48 to 72 hours. You got to soak your saltfish before you cook with it. But what do you do with the water? Well, I knew there would be a Portuguese folk solution to that. At the local level, Grandma and Grandad wouldn't be wasting their salty water from the bacalhau. And we found out last night on the Q&A. We do a gardening Q&A on a Monday evening, 6:15, with head gardener Lee McGrady. Guess what? And the question came in. Louise, who's here, asked it. What do you do about your fruit fly swarms? Jimmy Choo, be quiet. We've nearly finished. What do you do about your fruit fly swarms around your compost bin? The bacalhau water, the plastic bottles that you might have seen hanging in trees as you go around Portuguese villages may well be filled with the salty water from the bacalhau soaking. Hang it up with a few holes in the bottle near the tree where you've got the fruit fly and other pest problems, I think, deals with them. How good is that? Really nice to be able to resolve that between our various live streams here, between the gardening Q&A and the food program and this one this morning. Carla, it would be great for you to be on the show. Come on, Carla, let's just book a date and get you on the show. As Colombo used to say, my wife loves your show. That's great. What a great moment to conclude. Oh, Milda's coming in. Today's movie could include the fact that Madeira launches the digital nomad village. Yes, okay. We've mentioned that briefly before, but isn't that great that Madeira is so switched on that it is actually catering specifically for the digital nomads who want to go over there? It's a really good tourism opportunity. I mean, I'll let you into a little secret here that I'm thinking about. I really want to encourage a form of tourism in Portugal that is working title, and someone might nick this now, excuse me, but Portugal for a month. Come on. I think 3-day tourism it's okay. It's better than no tourism, obviously, for the economy here. But the thing of flying into Porto, going to Aveiro and Coimbra, and then flying out of Lisbon 3 days later, it's too rushed. It's not in tune with the Portuguese easygoing way of life. Obviously, it's what we were talking about with Dave. Some people are busy, they work, and they might take a 3-day weekend to do that. It's the only chance they have. But what I would love to encourage is much longer term tourism to Portugal and plan tours for people to be here for a month for a recce. A month to find out if it is for you. A month to barely scratch the surface, it has to be said. But in a month, if, for example, you've got your base camp in Coimbra, you can go up north, you can go down south, you can go to the capital. You need to be here for a month. And I think that will be good for the person coming to really find out if Portugal is for them or not. You believe me, you'll fall in love with the place. There may be the odd exceptions who won't, but most people are going to fall in love after being here for a month. And it's going to be best for the economy. It's going to be best for the country to have people come here and stay and move around at a slower pace. Take it in. Enjoy the life like a Portuguese for a month here. So that's my tip for tourism. Encourage people to be here longer. And obviously that's what they're doing in Madeira there. The digital nomad's going to be there for a week, 2 weeks, might even kick back for 3 or 4 weeks and stay there much longer term. And maybe we'll have digital nomad villages all around Portugal. You could have a month in Portugal 12 times over in 12 different lovely places around Portugal. Slow it down, be in the locality you're in, spend money in the locality you're in, help the economy there. Okay, not just the budget airline and the cheapy hotel or Airbnbs. Keep the money in the local communities. Slow down and enjoy yourself in Portugal. So Portugal for a month, hashtag Portugal for a month. Look out for that. Jacqueline's saying no rush, like savoring good wine. Absolutely right, Jacqueline. That's what I'm talking about. Savor Portugal like a good wine and have a lot of good wine here. A month's visit is our plan for July, August. So Mike's liking that idea. Jill Davis is saying, I'd definitely love to come for a month before I move over. Invest a month. Stay a lifetime. There we go. There's our marketing department talking. Thanks, Garvo, for that. I'm going to be writing that down. Have a great day, everybody. yeah, looking forward to seeing you here in your month in Portugal, or meeting up with you if you already live here for a beer soon, one of those beers, and we can talk about financial freedom together in the Portuguese sunshine. Sitting in Wolfgang Wust, before we go, sitting in rainy lunatic Frankfurt, and cannot wait to visit my daughter studying computer science in Lisboa. You are blessed living in Portugal. Thank you for that, Wolfgang. I agree with you, but thank you for saying it, and I extend that to all those who are living here from you. Please post both comments and links to Project Frugal and 100 Ways to Reinvent Yourself. You're giving me some homework to do here. I've got to go for me lie down now. So I'll do that, Catherine, do my best. Don't forget, we'll put the promo film up in Expats Portugal. Take care. Bye for now. Forgot to do this yesterday. We go out with this fabulous movie. Let's do it. Bye for now. Take care. Thanks. You've been amazing again, as ever, this morning. Ciao, ciao. Te logo. See you in the morning.